I'm pretty sure you've all heard the news. Tasha K is back running her big mouth, and clearly she didn't do her research, and she is comparing FBA folks to the KKK. And I said, wait a minute now, how do you come to that conclusion? Because last time I checked, the Klan is a terroristic hate group. You know, my mother comes from Jim Crow South, and she could still remember seeing the Klan come through, and they had ran her father up out of town. They ran a couple of family members out of town. And if you didn't leave, well, let's just say you'd be hanging from a tree, and they'd be smiling, looking up at you, having a picnic, and cutting off body parts and keeping them as a souvenir. So I'm glad Black folks have finally come to the realization that, hey, we have been stepped on, trampled on, and disrespected for a very long time by, people from Africa, people from the Caribbean, and pretty much all around the world where they have what they would call Black folks. And, for a long time, Black people just kind of kept quiet, and many still try to reach out and do the Pan-African thing. No, we need to get together with the other Black folks. If we can just get here and get here and get there, it'll work out. And as you can see, it never worked out. So it looked like after the 2024 election, many Black people started to wake up and realize, hey, we're pretty much on our own. If we are waiting for these other groups to accept us, that's not going to happen. We're going to have to just come together and draw a line in the sand and just delineate. So I know it's not all Africans, I know it's not all Caribbean, but I think a good number of them do not like Black folks. They do not like FBA people. And I have witnessed this myself. I have worked with them. I have lived around them. And I remember I was telling my mother, I said, remember back in the day when we lived next door to these Jamaican people, they could come in our house and eat and watch TV and play, but we could not go to theirs. And their mother was very, very, very angry all the time and very, very hostile. We'd be outside playing, and she'd be coming down the street from her job, and they would have a look of terror on their face, like, oh man, I hope my mother don't say anything because we outside playing with y'all. That lady was mean, and she did not like Black American kids. Now, if a little non-Black girl or a non-Black person came out the way, oh, she would come outside. She would be touching their hair, shaking their hand, just hugging them, and she would be so glad to see them. Black folks come outside, she would look at you like you were smelling like sour milk or something, and we as kids, but I picked up on that. And it was quite a few of them that was like that. I had 3 or 4 of them that lived in my neighborhood, and they were not too friendly towards Black Americans. And I remember my mother telling me, well, just overlook it. These people come here and they look down upon us because they have been told, so many bad things on the news, the media, and then they also tell that to each other that Black Americans are horrible people. And I said, well, my mother never taught me to hate. She always said, just respect people who come from these different places and try to learn about their history and their culture and things like that and yada, 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 but don't call them no African booty scratcher and yada, yada, yada. That was a big thing when I was a kid. So I didn't go around harassing a lot of them folks, but I know a lot of them, they kind of look down upon Black Americans like we were less than. So let's go into the history of the KKK. Let's go into this. So the KKK is an American far-right white supremacist and anti-Semitic hate group, widely regarded as the oldest domestic terrorist organization in the United States. The KKK has historically used violence, fear, and intimidation, including unaliving, lynching, and cross-branding to target Black Americans and to suppress their civil rights. So last time I checked, Black American, FBA, ADOS, or whatever name you might be calling yourself, Freedmen, we're not going around doing that to anybody. Because out here in LA, you all know we have a pretty bad thing going on with Hispanic folks and Black folks. And last time I checked, we don't go up in East LA or their neighborhoods and unalive them in large numbers, but they have a history of doing that to Black Americans. So for the most part, we try to keep the peace wherever we go with these other groups of people. These other groups of people don't want to have any peace with us because look like their goal to try to side with white supremacy so they can say, hey, well, I'm just like y'all, and we think just like y'all, and we got the same attitude, and yada, yada, yada. So as you can see here, it said the Klan is an American white supremacist right-wing hate group that has existed in 3 distinct areas. Founded in 1865 in Pulaski, Tennessee, by 6 former Confederate soldiers. The organization began as a social club before evolving into a violent terrorist insurgency aimed at suppressing the political and social rights of newly freed Black Americans during the Reconstruction era. We're not going around to the voting polls suppressing immigrants or Latinos or Hispanics or Asian people from voting. We're not running through their neighborhoods with a uniform on, with a hood, and torches and things like that, making all kinds of violent threats. So this is what they look like. You have all seen it before. My mother has seen this up close and personal many, many times before. So, yeah, I guess she's trying to apologize now, and I think it's a little bit too late for a lot of folks, because she sat there and said, oh, well, what was she saying? She had brought in Brother Polite, Young Pharaoh, and a bunch of other people. As a matter of fact, let me find something right quick. Well, let me see if I can find something. So, there it is there. FBA does not equal the KKK. So let me pull up this video right quick so you can hear it for yourself.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
Wait a minute. Let me get to something right quick. Because I think she's running out of content and she doesn't have anything to say. You know, the Roland Martin story, that got old. That Cardi B thing, that's already old. So let me pull up something right quick. So
they are that good. And somebody asked me to address Tasha K, saying that FBA was compared to the.
So let me get down to the video.
It has a different perspective.
Wait a minute.
To a booty scratcher, which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness in these movies. Even Tariq Nasheed, ain't his wife like half white or something? Ain't Tariq Nasheed wife like half white? But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide, meant to separate you, to isolate you, to have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason. That is the same foundation and principles that the Ku Klux Klan build themselves on, which is protecting their whiteness, their pureness.
So I wanted you to hear it for you.
So, it does not equal the KKK. Like I said, I'm glad Black folks are waking up and they're drawing a line in the sand. I never agreed with being called an African or an African American. I don't look like them folks. I don't know nothing about it. Never been there. Have no interest in going. You all know she's married to an African and she is of Caribbean descent. She said her family come from the Bahamas or something. And I said, oh, that makes sense for her to jump on the FBA hate train without doing her research. So I believe she said she did the 9th grade 3 times. So that should let you know she don't have a whole lot going on upstairs. And then she comes on here and she lies quite a bit. So she owes Cardi B a couple of $1 million because she couldn't keep quiet and she's going after this one. Oh, just the other day, she was lying on, what is this girl's name? Erica Banks. She was saying her BBL was leaking, her BBL this, her BBL that. And people was like, Tasha, I'm looking at the video and I don't see no BBL leaking. The girl don't have no stains on her clothes. What are you talking about? That story died down. Then she jumped on the Roland Martin. That died down. Now she done jumped on this one. And I don't think too many folks is going to appreciate being compared to the KKK. So like I said, FBA is a lineage. It is not some kind of hate group. It doesn't have anything to do with the Klan. We're not going around jumping on Haitians and rounding them up and calling ICE and say, I got one right now. Y'all come send them back. We got a couple of Africans over here. We got a couple of Jamaicans. We got a couple of Nigerians and yada, 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 yada. I'm tired of the disrespect. And I never believed in all that Pan-African mess. We got to go to Africa. We got to reach out to Africa. Black women, y'all need to move to Africa. Africa, Africa, Africa. So next time, do your research before you open up that big mouth, Tasha K. And I'm out.